Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this solely to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular in working more hard for you. Let's start the day to analyze the movements of S&P 500 futures in different time frames in a live chart. So friends, here you can see a daily chart of S&P 500 futures. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures today opened at 2853 and tested the highs of 2859 and low of 2810, and currently they're trading at the 2813. So here I find that we may see in a daily chart that the S&P 500 futures have been constantly facing stiff resistance between the levels of 2859 to 2869. This is a stiff resistance zone for S&P 500 futures on the upper side, and here I find today the S&P 500 futures have been constantly facing stiff resistance at 20 days moving average. Here you can see been constantly falling from these levels since the opening. And here I find in a daily time frame the S&P 500 futures may test the immediate support at the levels of 2785, where the upper end of Ichimoku cloud will try to provide some support to S&P 500 futures, and I find that the second support may be at the levels of 2750. Here I find that a weekly closing below the levels of 2750 will invite more bears to remain aggressive below these levels, because here I find that the currently prevailing geopolitical and economic situations look evident enough to extend this bearish pressure in the S&P 500 futures. Here I find that the S&P 500 futures may close this week below the levels of 2755. Here the recently announced data shows that the retail sales fell by 16.4% after a drop of 8.4% in March. That is considerably worse than the 12% fall expected by the analysts ahead of time. The March drop was also revised sharply down from an initial estimate of only 0.4%. Core retail sales, which strip auto sales, also fell by a record-breaking 17.2% compared to expectations for a decline of only 8.6%. These figures are the latest hard data generated for the first month of show of full impact of lockdowns that were imposed as the coronavirus pandemic spread across the US. Public health measures have had a devastating effect on virtually for all sectors of the economy. Since then, with over the quarter of US workforce filing for jobless benefits, more updates on further economic data for April are due at 9:15 a.m. ET, with the publication of industrial production and manufacturing output numbers for the month. So here I find that all these data will extend the bearish sentiments in S&P 500 futures, and relations between the two largest economies in the world are going to remain where it was, with the US government blaming Beijing for the origin and spread of COVID-19 virus. The US President Mr. Donald Trump on Thursday had talked of cutting the US entire trading relationship with China. Here I find that the minister will also be keeping an eye on the news from the Hill, with the House of Representatives Democrats set to present the latest relief bill to the tune of $3 trillion. The US President Mr. Donald Trump has already indicated that he would be open to more stimulus but would not support this bill. Here I find that all these geopolitical and economic situation looks evident enough to extend this fall up to these levels. Here I find that the weekly closing below the levels of 2748 will enhance this weakness in S&P 500 futures, where we may see a steep fall in S&P 500 futures straight up to these levels, where the next support will be found at the levels of 2587 during the upcoming week, because here I find that the whole scenario looks evident enough to extend this fall in a more steeper way if the S&P 500 futures break this final support at the levels of 2748, where a sustainable move below the levels of 2748 will result in a sharp fall, where we may see some reversal at the 50 days moving average, which is currently at the levels of 2699, from where we can expect a bounce back up to the levels of 2789. But here find that once again we will see more steeper fall in S&P 500 futures during the upcoming week, where the final support may be seen at the levels of 2584 during the upcoming week. Now let us have a look at the movements of S&P 500 futures in an hourly time frame for a shorter projection. Here in an hourly time frame, here you can see that after breaking major support of 200 days moving average in an hourly time frame on 13th May 2020, here you can see the S&P 500 futures move downward up to the levels of 2759 on May 14th. Here find that this point was very near to the major support levels, which is currently at the levels of 2753. Here you can see that in an hourly time frame, the S&P 500 futures have been constantly facing stiff resistance at 50 days moving average, which has already crossed the 20 days moving average on downside, and the S&P 500 futures have been constantly facing stiff resistance below the 50 days moving average, which shows the growing bearishness in the S&P 500 futures, which is currently taking some support at the lower end of Ichimoku cloud, where I find that a sustained move below the levels of 2808 shortly will extend this downward move up to the levels of 2753 before the weekly closing, where I find that a weekly closing below the levels of 2748 will result in extensive fall in S&P 500 futures during the upcoming week, where we may find a gap down opening on the first trading session of the upcoming week. Now let us have a look at the movements of gold futures in such uncertain geopolitical situation. Here you can see the movements of gold futures in a daily time frame. Here you can see that in my last analysis, I expressed my concern over the growing geopolitical uncertainty between the two major economies of the world, where the trade relations may see the worst since the signing of Phase 1 deal on the tariff trade war front, where I find that especially at the crucial time when the whole world is facing a major health problem, where the worsening trade relation between the two major economies of the world will make the situation more uncertain, where we have already been suffering from the global lockdowns over the worsening scenario in geopolitical situation. In my last analysis, I explained that the gold looked too strong after finding a strong support at the levels of $1692, from where we can see a steep upward move. Here I find that the gold futures look ready to test the highs of $1786 during the upcoming week, as I find that the growing geopolitical situation look evident enough to encourage gold bucks to test the highs of $1822 during the upcoming week. So friends, here I find that the growing strength in gold futures shows an exhaustive move in global equity markets, where I find that the S&P 500 futures may test the lows of 2777 during the upcoming week, where we may see the S&P 500 futures may find some support at the levels of 2650 during the days ahead. So friends, be ready to see an action in S&P 500 futures during the upcoming week. So thank you friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.